launched International Kids on Saturday. That's right, and I'm Super Zach. Well, we are here for Launch 360 Ministries Kid International, that is. That's right, Launch 360 International Ministries for kids. All kids, one big world and one great big God. Here we are growing, learning, and becoming who we're called to be every day.
Children are growing, so start them off the way they should go. And even when they're old, they will not turn from it. Proverbs 22:6. They're learning, so fathers, don't exasperate your children. Instead, bring them up in the training and instruction of the Lord. Ephesians 6:4. And they're becoming, for the creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed. Romans 8:19.
All kids, one big world and one great big God.
Extra, extra, read all about it. God's got a promise that can't be stopped. Extra, extra, read all about it. God's got a promise that can't be stopped.
Hey, Super Zach, what's this all about? Can you tell me about the promise?
Oh, hi, Super J. I just want everybody to know about the promises of God in Jeremiah. There's a story about Jeremiah who was prophesying to a king who was disobedient and didn't want to hear what God had to say. But God had made a promise to his people that they would live in a land flowing with milk and honey. And even though the king was disobedient and the people were disobedient, when God releases a promise, it just can't be stopped. And that's why I'm saying, read all about it. Because when God releases a prophecy, it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter what people say or what people do. It can't be stopped. And the promise was that they would have a land flowing with milk and honey. So that's a promise God gave, and it's a promise that God gives.
Wow. That's pretty awesome. I didn't even know about that story in Jeremiah. Well, thanks for sharing, and I'm going to make sure that I pay attention to what's happening around me, and that I make sure I use whatever gift God has given me to the fullest, so that I don't end up like King Zedekiah. Now, Zach, I might not have known about that story, but I do know about the promise of Jesus. And we're going to learn a little bit more about it from our friends at Saddleback Kids. So check it out. And keep in mind, we do not own the rights to this video, but it's so awesome we had to share it with you.
In order to discover why Jesus was born, we must travel thousands of years into the past, to a time when God's people, the Israelites, were in the Promised Land. The Israelites were constantly disobeying God. Sin was rampant in Israel. One day, God sent a prophet to warn the Israelites about their disobedience. A prophet was a person who told people on earth what God wanted them to hear. One day, a prophet named Isaiah came to remind the Israelites of the coming of God's Savior. He said,
"For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Of the greatness of his government and peace there will be no end. He will reign on David's throne and over his kingdom, establishing and upholding it with justice and righteousness. The zeal of the Lord Almighty tells us this."
Even though Isaiah warned them, the Israelites still disobeyed God. So God sent another prophet. His name was Micah. His message to the Israelites was,
"You, Bethlehem, are one of the smallest towns in Judah, but from you will come one who will rule Israel for me. He comes from very old times, from days long ago."
God knows that when we disobey the rules He set up, we usually hurt ourselves or others. God sent all these prophets to tell the Israelites just that. Nearly all of these prophets also spoke of a coming Savior, one who would take away their disobedience and sin.
And there you have it. There was the prophecy and the promise, and it was unstoppable. Jesus was that unstoppable promise that we all have. So make sure you live every day to the fullest. Make sure you remember that God made a promise for you, and you are a part of the promise. So carry it out. Have a good one.
Thanks again for watching our channel. And we want you to follow us on YouTube. Make sure that you subscribe. See you here next week for Launch 360 Ministries. Kids International Ministries, that is. Oh, and don't forget to stop by Amazon and get some of Ami's World books. The newest book is When Cheerleaders Go Astray. Check them out. You'll